Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to MACH 2022. We are on the Dugard stand, and I'm with Eric Dugard. Now, before we start this interview, Eric, what have you just said to me?
Yeah, morning, Lindsay. Well, I'm getting frustrated already because I can see customers arriving on the stand, so I want to get out there and start talking to machines.
We'll make this quite quick then. So I think that's proven the answer to my first question. How's MACH 2022 been for you?
We've been surprisingly impressed, actually. It's been very good for us.
Really good. And what have you got on your stand?
Quite a mix, really. We've got some 5-axis machines with automation, pallet loading systems, sliding head lathes, which have been very popular, and also some 2-axis and 3-axis turning centres.
Of course, you've got a few different brands underneath the umbrella, and we're going to cover them all in this live stream. Like I say, and I've said on every single live stream, we want you as close to the technology as we are. Maybe you've been to MACH, maybe you can't get to MACH. We understand, so this is what today is all about. It's interactive. Get those messages in. We've got technology where we can read your questions here, so we can ask the experts as well. What's been the most popular then? Because I know you've just mentioned automation. I haven't seen a stand without automation on, to be honest. So I'm assuming that's been a popular area for you.
It's been very popular. I would say that's been the main interest of the customers visiting. They're looking at ways they can improve their production and obviously do it in an unmanned way. So the pallet loading systems have been very interesting for customers. And
your hanwell range as well, your sliding hedge. You said you've had a lot of inquiries on these.
Well, and orders over the last few months, so that's built very nicely for us, and people are coming to the show to see the machines now that we've been promoting for several years.
Eric, what trends are you seeing? What questions are you having coming in that maybe you weren't having 4 years ago and that you're having now, or what inquiries are you having coming in?
It's across the board, really. Yeah, of course, we've got a big range of regular machines, VMCs and lathes and all that sort of thing, so of course we're talking about those. There's been a lot of interest also in the Ibamia range, which gives you very big capacity on 5-axis and very flexible specifications.
And the Ibamia range, you can't have them on the stand, can you? They're a little bit big, these machines, aren't they?
Well, most models will probably take up the whole stand, actually. But we've got some videos here, and we've got the technical manager from Ibamia who's happy to talk to customers about their applications.
Yeah, we've just caught up with him just a few moments ago. So again, if you've got any questions for him and the team, I guess you'd probably need to take up the whole hall if you were trying to promote a Ibamia machine.
Well, that would be nice, but we just can't afford it. So we've got to keep the costs realistic, but we're certainly very happy with what we've done so far. So.
You've increased your sales team as well, haven't you?
We have, yeah. We've got every area of the UK covered now, so area sales managers can come and see customers. As soon as we've got an inquiry, we can respond very quickly.
Eric, final question then for yourselves. If you haven't yet visited MACH 2022, maybe you're coming later on today or tomorrow, why would you encourage anybody to come and visit the Dugard stand?
Well, why not? I think we've got everything covered here that they may need, from some large turning machines, milling, sliding head, 5-axis, so we've got most bases covered if they want to come and talk to us with their inquiries.
It's busy, isn't it?
Yeah, please come. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely right. Let's head over now to Colin, who is talking about the SMEC range of machines.
Lindsay, thank you very much. An absolute diamond as usual. Well, rough diamond maybe. Now, we're going to, I say interrogate, that's not very nice. Interview Dave I would call him now because we're good friends, about the SMEC range of fixed head lathes.
Yes.
Why would I buy one?
Well, this is actually one of the strongest in its class. This is the SL 2000 BM. So
MM.
Yeah. So this actual model's got the bigger bore and actually milling capacity on this machine as well.
When you say bigger bore, how big? And don't say it's me.
So this can actually take a 68 milli diameter bar when it's got a bar feeder on there, but the spindle bore is actually 76 millimeter.
Okay. And then what about chuck size? Because you've got a couple of different options.
Yeah. So on this machine we have 8-inch chuck, but we also do the option with a 6-inch chuck, which has a 6,000 RPM.
Excellent. Now, what we're going to do, I've been told to work the cameraman today, so we're going to have some action stuff going on. I, as a highly skilled and trained engineer, Dave, out of the way. Good. Look, I've got this covered. So just to check, that's definitely locked. Brilliant. The door is now opening. How's that? Can I get a job? I'm not happy the way you. So yeah, we've done the chuck. Two options, A and B. RPM.
Yeah, so on the 18-inch truck you've got 4,500 RPM, Actually, on the turret, you've got 5,000 RPM on the milling.
Okay, so pretty fast, but has it got the power to go with it?
It has, yes. So on the spindle, it's an 18.5 kilowatt motor, and on the milling, you've actually got a 5.5 kilowatt motor.
So I'm thinking you can do some big cuts, but has this got the stability, the rigidity, if I can say that properly, to do it?
So this is actually a slant bed lathe. Design of it has got a hexahedral boxway on there, so it's a 6-point contact on the actual boxway.
We need to work the cameraman. Are you in there? Is Chris, our cameraman, in there getting that hexahedral? Oh, look at that. He's working it beautifully. That is fantastic. So six faces. 6
point of contact on each slide, so all in all you've got 12 points of contact actually on the X. So when you're doing heavy machining like 316 stainless or tougher material, you can take this machine will handle 3mm depth of cut and actually get your finish and the size all day long.
Like a butter through knife, or even knife through butter.
Yes, I'd say so.
And looking in there, the casting itself, this is heaviest in the sort of...
It's the strongest in its class, so it being a slant bed as well, and the design of this, it's got low sense of gravity, which then also makes it more stability as well.
In fact, the low centre of gravity is a bit like your new recruit. We won't say it is, we've got a big reveal later, but that's something else we'll come to. So, looking at that, you've got the casting, box guideways, turret. Talk me through, you mentioned briefly, all driven.
Yeah, so this is a BMT turret. As you can see, it's 12 station. Now, if it was 2-axis machine, it's 12 station turret. With it being milling, it's actually got half indexing, so you've actually got a 12 position turret on this machine.
Right, so if you're half indexing, you can then double up to 24 with my great math skills?
You can, yes, if you wish.
You said earlier, even four per station.
Yeah, so there's some tool suppliers out there that actually offer double, triple and quadruple milling tools, actually what can fit on one station. So depending on your application, you can actually put even more tools on this machine.
Right, so as we like to say on the show, application specific. Now, anybody who's watching, can we get your questions? We need to put, well, I could call him Davo now because I've known him for at least 5 minutes. We want to put Davo to the test, so send your questions in, please. Make them a super tricky, please. Now, Davo, back to turret, so we've got up to 48.
Well, if you've got the actual right job and you need those amount of tools, you can do that, yes. But a lot of customers stick with the single milling tools on there, either it being inline or a 90-degree angle.
Okay. Now, this machine itself, how many axes does it have?
So it's actually got 3. So you've got the C-axis, Z-axis and X-axis on this machine.
We need to point that. Can you point those out for the cameraman, please?
So on the turret, you've got your X, you've got your Z, and you've got your C-axis actually on your chuck.
But the flexibility of this range, because you can have a Y-axis. That's a rhetorical question.
Yeah. So this particular model, you can actually have a Y-axis and also go one further and actually have a sub-spindle on this machine.
Right. So at the moment, you've got you've got the tail stop.
That's right. So
sorry, I'm going to stop you there because we need to get the cameraman in there. I'm in his way. See, we love a live show.
So this tailstock is a drag and drop. So you can actually move this with the MPG.
A dragon as in like Game of Thrones?
Pretty much, yeah, if you want to go that way. But the actual, so you have a pin that goes into turret, what actually then moves the tailstock into location, locks up hydraulically, and you've actually got a 75mm diameter quill on that, which is very large for this machine, so it's very strong and stable, and it's got 80mm travel on the quill as well.
So again, everything you're saying so far, I'm getting a lot of flexibility. I'm very, very disappointed that Davo didn't laugh at my joke, but hey-ho, nobody ever does. So you've got a lot of flexibility there, main spindle, sub-spindle. Yes. What about the actual leg? Because this one is half a metre, is that correct?
So this has actually got 520mm of travel on the Z. Maximum turning diameter is 360, but the actual swing over bed is 540.
Brilliant. But sorry, I've got some questions coming in, so let me just go, as we're all prepared here, let me go double check what we've got going on. So excuse me while we could you just hold that please, David?
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, we've got a big hello from Salah Alavig, and I do apologise for my pronunciation. So thank you, hello Salah, thank you for engaging with us. And if you've got any questions for us, Salah, let us know. All about the spec machine though. Davo, flexible machine, so main spindle, you can have a sub spindle.
You can, yes.
Lots of tooling going on, driven tooling. Anything else in the working envelope?
I mean, on this machine, you can also go down, if you want to put a bar feeder on here, you can actually put a hindbutt collet chuck on there as well, on the main and sub spindle. So the sub spindle is actually a 6-inch diameter, so you can actually do 6,000 RPM on the sub-spindle.
Other collet chucks are available?
They are, yes. They are.
Okay, so it's all about automation here, so you've got your bar feed, you can have a robot loader in there as well if you want to?
Yeah, so if you want to go down the automation route, you can actually put an automated door on this machine and have a robot cell on here as well.
Now, people are thinking, right, I'm thinking about buying a Schmeck, what about the controls? What controls you got? Let's have a quick look at that to finish this off.
Machine, we've actually got Siemens 828 shop turn. We also offer...
I'm going to stop you there, Dave. I'm going to come round because we need to work this cameraman. Get him in there.
So, but we also offer finite control in this machine with manual guide eye. So on the simulation, which a lot of customers actually like, so you've got the 3D simulation on this machine, which also shows you the tool path, but you've also got different views on this machine. So you've got option of a touch screen, so you can actually pinch, move in, and you can also move it around. But if you wanted a different view, press further views, 2 windows, so you can actually see this from 2 separate angles.
Absolutely. And another nice little bit here, wheel.
Yeah, so you've actually got the MPG on here. So when you actually...
You need to bring it back to the camera. He wasn't quick enough. Come on, Chris, you need to go faster.
Speed up. So there we go. Normally this control is actually on the face of the machine, but what Schmeck has done, they've made this a standard for the European market. So when you're actually setting up and setting tools, you can actually get right in there and be close and see what you're doing rather than having to stretch.
Right, I'm going to put you to test. What is the name of that, the guideway in there?
So it's a hexahedral guideway on there, 6-point contact. So double that up, you've got 12 points of contact on there.
Making it super rigid.
It does, yes.
So in a nutshell, Davo, and well, as I said, we are good friends now. Super flexible, super rigid, big depths of cut. Any material?
In regards to, we have customers that are actually on this particular model machine are using 45mm U-drills on 316 stainless, and it's running at 60% on the load.
So you didn't get my reaction there, did you, Chris? That's my cameraman has failed me today. So, but that's it. So a great machine, super flexible, and I want to say Davo has been a legend. He didn't even go out drinking last night because he was so nervous. First time on camera?
It is, yes.
And I think he's been an absolute legend. So, David, I will call you David formally now. Thank you very much. Still disappointed you laughed at my joke. We are now going to hand over to Mr. Paul Jones. I think he's going to teach us all about Kitamuras.
I just want to give a shout out actually to Wilson Tool and Darren Wilson, because I know he's got a Schmeck machine, and he put some videos on YouTube of some machining with some serious metal removal. So they really are good, strong turning centres. Now we're talking Kitamura. We're looking at a med centre. I'm here with Ross. Ross, could you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do at Dugard.
Hi, I'm Ross Love. I'm the Scottish area sales manager, and I've recently just started with the company.
You've only just started?
I've only just started, only just a month and a half ago.
Okay, now we talk about Schmeck. I know we're talking about the Kitamura here, but you must have quite a demand in your territory with oil and gas and stuff like that for big heavy duty lathes. So does Schmeck go down well for you up north?
Well, I know that I'm speaking to a few customers that do have Schmeck so far, and to be honest, they're all really happy with them, and I think they probably will be following them up with more Schmecks in the future.
Okay, good stuff. Now, has this machine been a real draw here at MACH 2022 this week? You know, it's a popular model. You can see it's a very small, compact 5-axis machine. Has it been drawing the crowds, Ross?
I would say there has been quite a lot of interest. Well, this machine, in fact, has sold at MACH, so there was quite a lot of interest in the first few days for this machine. But I think it's like you said, the small footprint. Basically, the actual machine is like 2 metres squared, so it doesn't take up a lot of workshop space.
Yeah, well, let's talk about, before we actually talk about the machine here, I want to talk about this combination, because this is about so much we're seeing about unmanned running. And I'm going to open this door here so we can get a look in with the camera. We've got this is a 10 pallet pool here. Why would people want something like this, Ross? We talk about it a lot on MTD, but what's the attraction?
Basically, it's automation. More and more customers are going down the route of automation, basically down to light site machining. So they can basically set this up at the end of the shift and come in the morning, and there's finished parts waiting.
And we talk about these being for high volumes, but they're not, are they? You've seen so many companies doing lots of different components, loading these pallets up with all different parts to keep them running over the weekend.
No, you definitely do. It's like it's a fact. As long as obviously it's the size with this machine, it's as long as a lot of the jobs are doing are similar sizes, then they can load it up. basically, and it's easy enough to basically. It is easy enough to obviously have different programs running in the machine, so you will find that there will be customers within small batches buying this kind of setup.
Okay, now when you're running automation, the important thing is not just this, the machine's got to keep running, so that means it's got to be reliable, and it's got to be accurate over long periods of time. How does the MedCenter 5-axis achieve that, and how good is this machine then from Kitamura, Ross?
To be honest, the Kitamuras do pride themselves on their accuracy of the machines and the build quality, and it goes as far as saying that the Kitamuras don't rely on electronic compensation on the machines, so they're all hand-scraped bedways, and this machine in particular is 1 micron over the travel for positional and 1 micron repeatability as well.
So this machine is made different to a lot then, it's complete, it's made in Japan and it's hand-scraped ways. How do they do that, and what does that give you then when it comes to the overall benefit of the machine?
A lot of the machines this size will be linear rails in for competitors' machines. So what Kitamura do is they still stick to cast iron bedways. So they basically hand scrape them into very tight tolerances. And it's obviously it takes a lot longer for them to build the machine. But it's, as you can see, it's longevity in the machine as well.
Okay, well what we're going to do now is Ross is going to shut the door and he's going to press cycle start so you can actually see this machine move. I wanted to start with the door open because I wanted to get a feel for the accessibility to it, the size of the machine, what the makeup of the machine is like inside and how it's constructed. But now we can see it moving. It really, I mean, it's so quiet as well, isn't it? Is it?
Oh, it definitely is. Considering it is bedways as well, a lot of people are surprised at the fact that the rapid speeds in this machine is still 60 metres a minute, which is pretty impressive considering it is bedways.
So what's this application that you're doing in here, and where would you see this machine being attracted to? What sort of parts are people going to be machining and making?
Well, the machine was designed for the medical industry, so I think this part here is kind of medical, as in it's almost like a file. It's just as a demo part, this one, right enough, but it's kind of just trying to show that you can manufacture kind of the files, the bone files.
And when you actually look at, I mean, things like swarf, they're going right, and I'm going to look at this on the 4G in a minute, but it goes right underneath and out the back of the machine.
Yeah, it does. It does on this one.
Okay, and what sort of options would this machine come with? Tell me about the spindle, tell me about the tool changer, where is it, all the things that are important in the machining process.
So this machine comes with a 30 tool changer. There is an option to take the 60 for the basic machine, but you can add an additional tool changer an add-on to the tool changer, to take up to 100. But because
you might need that if you're going to start adding pallets to it.
Will do. But the spindle that's on this machine is an HSK 40, and it's a 30,000 RPM spindle.
Okay, is that your standard? Is that how it comes?
That is the standard spindle for this machine.
Is there any disadvantage to that then at the lower ends, or are we looking at this machine really for those intricate high-speed movements, surfacing, so you're not really looking at this from a torque perspective, are you? Or does it have both? I mean, I don't know, you tell me, Ross.
To be honest, it is designed probably for the smaller tools. So the torque settings are kind of set for the higher ranges for smaller diameters, but it still is a 20 horsepower spindle as a standard, so it does still have a bit of power there.
The control system on here, you've got the aromatic MI. Yeah. Is this similar to that of a FANUC? If somebody has a FANUC machine already, can they use similar programs? What are the differences?
Yeah, basically Kitamura, it's Kitamura's own control, so they basically designed it as FANUC user-friendly. So Kitamura's machines used to have FANUC controls on them, so they designed this control so that basically people who have the older machines can buy their newer machines without too much, obviously without training involved really.
Brilliant, good stuff, Ross. So you cover Scotland, so if people are interested in that territory for a machine like this, you can obviously contact Ross via the Dugard website, dugard.com. I'm just going to have a quick walk around this, then I'm going to go and look at the 4G machine with Sia, but I want to just show you, because sometimes it is hard to see. If you look at the overall depth of this machine, I mean, it is absolutely tiny. Would you have any idea, Ross, how much it weighs?
It actually weighs 4.2 tonnes.
It's 4 tonnes. Yeah. It's this small and it weighs it weighs a whopping 4 tonnes. So, brilliant. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck with this. This one's sold. So what are you going to do if someone wants one?
I'll make order a new one, I suppose.
I'm sure you've got them readily coming in stock. So I'm going to walk around now and have a chat with Sia. Before I do that, we've had a comment in on YouTube from Conrad Nurk, loving the live streams and loving looking at some of this technology that we're showcasing here. Sia, come on in. Good to see you. Would you just tell us who you are for the camera and what you do at Dugard?
I'm Sia. I'm technical director at Dugard. Basically, I look at all the technical aspect of the machines, whether it's accessories, different options, any automation if it's needed for the machine. That's my role at Dugard.
Okay, now with your experience looking at Kitamura, when this brand came under your umbrella, knowing what you know, you must have thought, wow, this is going to be really good for the company.
Yes, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We were really happy to add Kitamura to our range because it was different kind of machine, like compared to the machines that we dealt with before. As far as accuracy goes, as far as the control goes, it was a really good addition to our range.
Okay, now you brought here to MACH 2 models, so we've just looked at the Med Centre, which is a small machine. Yeah. Then you've brought here which is the Mitronian 4G. Why did you select these two? Is it because they're contrasting machines, different sizes, weights, capabilities?
Yes. Basically, Mitronian range is designed for bigger parts where you need more tools. And if you need to, it's more flexible to the size of the parts. It's a bigger envelope.
Well, let's open the door because there's a couple of things on here I want to look at. The cameraman can get in. Let's firstly look at this rather neat selection here, or this work holding solution. Why have you done this, and what is the reason behind that?
The main reason we use this sort of work holding is you can, as you see, you can have multiple parts on it, and it gives you the ability to run the machine and produce more parts unmanned. And that's the main reason. There are many other solutions available in the market which you can use, but that gives you basically the flexibility to run the machine unmanned.
Okay, I'm going to go back to real basics here as well, because there's probably lots of people watching our stream that might have never seen a 5-axis before, we don't know. Can you maybe talk to us about the axis movement, which axis is what and what moves?
Yeah, basically the structure of this machine is a bit different. This, as you can see, X and Y axis are on a gantry sort of type design.
Okay, so basically this axis here is the X, so that will move, the spindle will move left to right, and the Y axis comes forward, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, now that means then that the other movement, and the Z comes down,
yes,
and right. The other movement on the table is just the table rotating and also tipping. Yes. Now, you said to me a very important point earlier about the way this is built like that means that you're moving the machine to the part rather than the part to the machine, which is a better way of 5-axis machining, in your opinion.
Yes, and it gives you more control over accuracy of the machine and machining more rigid. So.
Okay, I want to now walk round the back because I'm just going to show you this, and be careful with the if you come this way, Mr. Cameraman, and see it. Always important to see the machines all the way round. This is your swarf conveyor here. Now, the swarf, like the Mitronian, comes out the machine from front to back, but you have certain things that you offer when it comes to the swarf management, don't you?
Yeah, basically, because at Dugard we're more focused on running the machines unmanned. Swarf management is a big part of it. So what we offer on Mitronian range is what we call the double-deck swarf conveyor, which gives you the ability to deal with different kinds of swarf. This is not the actual one, but you can manage small chips, big chips, stringy swarfs. You can deal with all of them.
Okay, which you need if you're going to run automation and lights out and things. If we come back this way, Sia, this is your tool station here. This is your tool carousel. How many tools does this machine have? And you'd load them from here, would you?
Yeah, a standard comes with 60 tools, but you got various options. You can go up to 100 tools as well. But as you see, it's very easy and accessible tool magazine for loading and unloading tools.
And I suppose the beauty of this is it's not in the working area, is it? So you're not worrying about swarf, things like that. Okay, watch your step as well as we go back this way to the machine. There's two other points I really want to pick out here. The first one is the control system and some of the things you do to monitor the machine, over long periods of time. Can you explain what Kitamura do there?
Basically, aromatic control lets you monitor the machine remotely through a software in the control which we call Anywhere Remote. So basically, Anywhere Remote connects to internet through Wi-Fi or LAN cable and gives you updates for any status change in the machine when you're running it unmanned. For example, when you leave the machine running for the weekend, in case you're running out of coolant or the machine stops because of any alarms, you would get an email on your phone or on your mailbox, and you know, it makes you aware of it so you can deal with it.
So if you were setting up a machine like this to run unmanned over a long period of time, you would be able to remotely see how it's performing. I mean, I see here you've got machine temperature.
Yes.
So I suppose it's like a dashboard that really keeps you in tune with what's happening.
Yes, you can see everything, basically everything which is important when you're running unmanned. From machine temperature, you can even monitor your cycle times, you can monitor the tool wear, you can monitor every aspect of it.
Okay, last one for you, Sia, automation. Yeah. We looked at the med centre that has obviously the pallet system with it. Do you provide like the cobots and all that kind of facility, don't you, at Dugard, to keep these machines going over long periods?
Yes, basically all of our My Training series, they come automation ready, meaning that we provide the interface so you can choose any type of automation of your choice, from robots, from pallet system. The machine got the capability to integrate to those systems.
How impressed are the customers that have these now that you've sold them to? I bet you love selling them, don't you? You go in there a few weeks later, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Really, really good stuff. Yeah, I think we've covered all the points. Gantry machine as well. Brilliant, Sia. I know you weren't looking forward to doing this interview, but I've got to say you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to now hand you over to Colin, who's with Colin, looking at hanwell.
Right, back to me. I know you've all been enjoying the show so far, and we're working as cameramen hard. I have a question coming. I'm going to put our friend Colin Thompson to the test. So, Gareth at Total Design Limited, on LinkedIn, by the way, what coolant pressure can you generate for chip displacement, high pressure type? I'm assuming we're talking about spec, of course.
Well, on the hanwells, we actually have 70 bar to 120 bar. On the specs, we can also put 70 bar on them as well. So
Gareth, hope that answers your questions. Keep them coming in, please. We want to put Colin to the test now. We had Davo, who was a first timer. Also, Colin, first time was only about 6 months ago, is that?
Yeah, 6 months ago.
I have to say, he's an absolute legend, and we're going to find all about milled components. Milled components on what, though? A slider. Why?
A lot more easier to produce, a lot less handling, more accuracy, and also, more importantly, quicker. Therefore, more cost effective for the customer to produce.
There you go, nice and simple, thank you very much. Well, no, I'm joking. We want to find more about this machine because people might not know. They should know the hanwell machine, but in case they don't, we're going to go through this. So the hanwell machine behind me, let me just put this phone down. So if any questions come through, keep them coming through, please. So, first of all, the hanwell range. Tell me more about it, please, Colin.
Well, the nice thing with the hanwell range is we go from 3mm right the way up to 45mm. There's a lot of range in the way of capacity inside the machines. We have platen style machines as well as turret with platens, twin platens, so we can do balance turning, balance milling. There's a lot of flexibility inside these machine tools.
Okay. We need to get the camera in there, so I have been trained on this machine, so watch this. Oh, if I find the right button, training nearly failed there, the big reveal. Oh, there you go. How's that, Colin? Impressed? Can I have a job?
I wouldn't go that far yet.
Okay, let me get out the cameraman's way. So what have we got going on in here then, please?
Okay, what we have here is a platen style arrangement on the machine where we have 5 driven tools, 5 turning tools, 5 static tools on the back arm, sub-spindle machine, but most importantly on this machine, to give you a lot of flexibility so we can get cycle time down by half in a component, we have 8 stations on the back with full Y-axis and driven. So when we're doing milling jobs, it gives us more flexibility to get more parts, split in half to get that cycle time down.
That's key to the slide end machines. Cycle time down, banging these out all day, every day, 24/7.
Exactly. Must keep them running 24/7 and make complete. No second option.
Okay. Now, you said the range it goes from 3mm up to 45mm, but you've got the guide bush, non-guide bush option?
Yes, we have guide bush, non-guide bush. The beauty with the non-guide bush machine is we can minimise the bar ends. With the cost of materials we all know at the moment are skyrocketing, to say the least. That way we can maximise your return on the material costs, but also you get better concentricity.
You're stealing all my questions here, Colin. That's no good. But look, I mean, normally if you're taking the guide bush out, you're getting a slightly bigger bar, but you don't go for that option with these machines.
No. The philosophy with hanwell is if it says on the machine it's a 32mm machine, it's a 32mm machine. We don't stretch them upwards. It can be dangerous. Hanwell insists the machine is built around that bar to its optimum performance. Why stretch it, compromise performance?
Okay, that's fair. Now, in terms of actually the controls and, well, you've got the, when I say the controls, we'll go back, swarf, because you want to run these things 24/7, absolutely. Do you have chip control?
Yeah, we have a feature called PCR3. It allows us to control the size of the chip as well, giving us great as unmanned running. When that green light's running, we're making money. When it's red, we're not. If it's all bird nest up and the machine stop, we're not making money. So we have to help you out there.
Okay, but what sort of jobs, I mean, what sort of application will it do? Just straight turning or threading, milling?
No, we have companies now where 80% of the job is milling on these machines.
But in terms of PCR, what sort of...
Oh, with PCR, we actually run anything from plastics, which we all know on sliding edge historically would be a bit of an issue, to say the least, right the way up to titanium and Inconel. So the stringy, real nasty stringy materials, we can get them chipping and then get better tool life, also better run times for you.
All right, so you've got nice setup going on there, lots of driven tooling, you've got the main spindle, sub spindle, put the bar feed in there, get it running. But in terms of the actual bar, the diameter, same on the sub as the main?
Yeah, very much so. On all the Hanwells, if it's a 26mm on the front, it's 26mm on the back. If we're making shafts, which historically sliding heads were for, you need to be able to feed them out the back.
All right, so you've thought about that, you can get those long shafts all the way through. Long parts catcher at the end?
Oh yes, already included in the standard package with Hanwell.
Okay. Right, we've got this all going on in there. There's a lot of tooling going on, main spindle, sub spindle. If I've not used a Hanwell before, is this easy? In fact, so easy, I'm going to have a little go. How's this? Colin has been training me. Let's see if I can get it right, and I can't even remember what it was. I think it was, there we go, let's have a look. I'm going to do a bit of auto cut. Now, talk me through what's going on here, Colin.
Okay.
Hold on. I need to get around the camera. The camera's working too hard, he's in my way. Get out of the way, Chris.
No, what Hanwell have very cleverly done is they've looked at the bits that you need regular in programs. Everything from a cut-off cycle to synchronisation for sub-spindles to pick parts up, and they've created on-board macros. We just fill in a few questions and it puts it into the program. All the G codes, all the M codes, all the weight codes are all there synchronised up for you. So you haven't got to worry about copy and pasting. Make sure you copy and paste the right bit or writing them out again.
So this section just here?
Yes, that's it. What we have there is you have the spindle RPM, the feed rate, what direction we want spindle to rotate, and then the end point of the actual tool where it has to go to. That's your safety work diameter and then your safe distance away from it. Very simple.
Okay, nice and easy. All right, going back to PCR as well. Easy to program on here?
Very easy. It's literally you put in a G code with an option of 5 standard codes for it.
Let's get the working envelope in the background.
Okay. You get an option of 5 standard working options, but with PCR as well, they're very clever what Hanwell's done. We can actually modify each one of those to suit the material if we have to, but we give you the 5 to get going, so have a starting point from, which covers virtually all the materials, believe it or not.
Now I'm going to move out of the way again. Chris, get your noggin in there or your camera, because there's a couple of nice little things. What's this up here?
That is a little drip tray for our setters that don't like getting our hair wet. It's quite handy that we can have that on there, so when we're in, no coolant will drip off the door onto your head. It goes into a drip tray, returns back into the machine.
And looking at this, back you go, Chris, please. Look at big door there.
Yeah, very big. Even I can get in and set this one very comfortably.
There you go. And easy to set, I'm assuming.
Oh yes, yeah. I wish I had this back in the day when I was on them.
Oh, and is this in the little trick here, or is it down here?
This one. What this is...
I'll model this for the cameraman. There you go. How's that, Chris? Can you give me a nod? Let me know that's good.
What that is actually the MD a few years back went out to a lot of slider factories in Korea, and they noticed that on all the sliders there was oil dripping down the fronts of the machines. Not just Hanwell's, our competitors as well. It's a common thing. But what they've done is redesigned this little channel that returns the oil straight back into the machine, so therefore it keeps the environment around you safe and tidy.
I had you as an environmentalist.
Oh, to the heart.
Absolutely. But what we want to do, we were chatting with a guy called Sam from Dallow yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, he was up yesterday with you guys.
How many machines has he got?
He's bought 4 and the 5th one's going in next week.
Okay. And in his words, I've written this down. We could, well, not wishing to be rude about it, so we couldn't get rid of him. He was absolutely raving about his hanwells. So he was saying that the 38 actually does 40 mil.
Well, the 38 was designed as a 40 mil machine, but the marketplace, when it was launched, they didn't feel was ready for a 40 mil as a slider, so they brought it back to 38. But we can still run 40 mil for it. So
that's fair. Now, in his words, and I wrote these down, it's quick, it's solid, it's reliable, and on the shop floor, I can't even read my own writing, but they do love, and that's right, it said dubious. I'm thinking they weren't dubious about. The guys on the shop floor have run other machines, they were dubious about running these. What do they think of them now?
they absolutely love them. That's why they've got 5 going in now.
There you go, Hauser. And the MD is always open to try new things. Absolutely delighted with the machine. So he's got another one, like I say, on order. What part were they making?
There was this medical part in particular that started the whole project off for us. The reason they come to us was they were doing multi-ops, 4 ops. We managed to get it off in 1 op, reduced cycle time dramatically. From that day on, we've looked at every job and gone from there. So.
Okay, right. I'm gonna move around here so we can get more of this machine in the background. I think. What do you reckon, Chris? You're all right? Okay with that? It's brilliant. Now, it's not just about great machines. Do you offer decent sales, service, and support? Well, the sales, obviously.
I'd like to think so. We've spent a lot of time at Dugard's looking at what the customer needs. We took on a lot of years of experience from Dugard's, being over 8 years old, about not just the machine, it's about if the machine goes wrong. We all have issues in life with machines. No one's got a perfect machine. We all create good machines. When it goes wrong, we have to respond. So we bring a lot of bonded stores in for our customers, okay, of key parts, critical parts. We stock down in Brighton. God forbid we ever don't have that part there. I can then go to Germany, which has got over £8.5 million worth of stock. And if I can't go there, I can get it on a plane within 48 hours from Korea. So we've got all bases covered.
There you go. So as we know on this show, keeping those spindles turning. But things like the guys at Dalal, you've actually got, you're going in there 2 days a month to really help them out?
Yeah, with Dalal, they've got a mixed age of engineers, shall we say, for a better way of putting it.
Choose your words wisely, Colin.
I've got to be careful because they are great guys, but they've got a very mixed age, and we're trying to encourage the younger setters to come up and get into the more heavier, complex jobs. So what we've agreed with Dalal is, as a goodwill gesture, we will go in 2 days a month and support them for the next 3 months to get those young lads up to where we need them to be. There's no point going in one hit because we all know what happens, brain overload. So we're going to drip feed them over the next 3 months and grow them from there.
Colin, I'm going to stop you there. Absolutely fantastic range of machines. Thank you. Someone who was first time 6 months ago, he's getting used to it now. Absolutely brilliant. We've got a big reveal coming up near the end of the show as well. Or the end of the show is nearing. Once again, Colin, thank you. Get your questions in, please. We want to put these guys under some pressure. I'm going to look over this machine if I can and just check. I'm going to throw to the lovely, I was going to say Paul Jones, but Lindsay Vickers.
Hello and welcome back. Yes, thank you, Colin. It's good to see Colin on camera.
Which one?
I know.
Yeah.
I know which one I'd prefer to see on camera, and that's not ours. No, I do really like our Colin, a little bit. Great show, great technology. In fact, just let's talk about that at Kitamura Med Centre. Off camera, I was speaking to Eric, and he was saying that they've just sold loads, actually, in the past few months, so it's a really, really popular machine. It's
not
great.
Surprising. I think the size of it, the speed of it, the compactness of the machine, its capabilities. I mean, the working envelope's actually quite big for a machine of that footprint
size,
as well.
Yeah.
I'm really not surprised. I think the Kitamura machines for them have been a real coup for them to get that.
It's interesting because when we first did a video on it quite a few months back, it didn't have the automation, and then they're like, no, and now let's show it off with the automation.
But it's so important, and I'm hearing this a lot this week, that when you automate a machine, automating a machine is easy, but making the processes reliable as it's continually being automated.
That's the challenge.
It's the challenge, because you need to make sure that the machine is capable of running those long hours but producing parts to tolerance continuously, and I think that's really what Kitamura do.
Yeah.
What we got here.
I don't want to interrupt, but you know me, I love to interrupt. I need to borrow your microphone, Lindsay.
This is why I've just said I don't like him on camera.
You've got 2 mics.
Rude. But I have got a big reveal. No, not me. Who have I found lurking? Can I use the word lurking on the stand?
Lurking, an intent. With intent or?
And people who don't know you, where have you been? But who are...
Doesn't know you? Who doesn't know Calvin? Come on.
I was
famous for that. I've been known and been around the industry for 36 years, so yes, a lot of people
Thought
know
you'd
me.
retired.
I retired last Thursday,
Right.
but I started up with a KF consultancy now, so...
What does KF stand for?
Kelvin Farr. So, yeah, so I'll be supporting the Dugards now, assisting them, getting sort of product to the market, you know, putting quality peripheral equipment onto quality machine tools. So it's customers' expectations, which is the highest point that I'll be gold.
What have you thought of MACH, Kelvin?
It's been a bit more than I've sort of expected myself. You know, the quality of the inquiries, the people. When I went to previous, obviously, down to Farnborough, I saw that as a shop window. Now people have entered the shop.
Yeah.
They've actually come now to do business, which is great for the market. Great for the market.
Good stuff. Well, I saw you in Hove a few weeks ago, didn't I? And I thought
Yes, you did.
were loitering around down there, and I thought,
I
to myself,
was.
what's Kelvin up to? And
Yes, I was on a
obviously
project there, and yes, things were discussed, and this is where I am now.
good
you
stuff.
spying? You were spying.
No, I was just down doing some machine reviews, and Kelvin was there, and he told me he was retiring. And
Yes, he caught me working actually down there. Yeah.
first time in 38 years, I heard.
Yes, that's absolutely
so
right.
well done, Kelvin.
Yes, love to see you
Congratulations.
soon.
Good luck in your new
Absolutely.
role. Loads
Thank you
coming
very
up.
much.
Enjoy your all I say is enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Loads coming up on MTDCNC today. We've got a live stream all about Interco starting at 11:30. We've also got Shunk on live stream today, and of course our live podcast, which happens today just after 4 o'clock.
That's where the beers are flowing, and we got lots of questions, please. We've had a few testers today, so really good. And did you hear my joke?
I didn't. No.
It failed miserably, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but they're not jokes. They're not funny. So if it's classed as a joke, it has to be funny, Colin. And you know.
I'll block
Anyway.
him on Talkback.
On that note, we'll see you very, very shortly. What a stand. And just to give you a little look, if you can just pan the cameras around, look, customers on the stand. This is what MACH's all about. And what time are we on? We're super early in the morning, and there's customers already on the stand. In fact, when we were doing that live stream, Eric had a meeting in their meeting room as well. So speaking to customers all day, it's busy. We'll see you shortly.